Ba-dum bump ba-dum. Ba-dum bump ba-dum. Ba-da-da-da. Hey guys, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Fear the Walking Dead, Season 2, Episode 5, Captive. I want to be utterly honest with everyone out there, all my subscribers, anyone watching this video. This show is not worthy of anyone's time. I mean, honestly, I am shocked that I am still watching it. The only reason that I'm watching it at this point is because I already bought the whole season on Amazon, and I have to review it for you guys. So, if you want to stop watching it at this point, I don't blame you. It is the worst show I've run into in years. I mean, I've seen some of my sister's shows. They're horrible, cheesy soap opera type shows. They're better than this horrible, cheesy soap opera show that's pretending to be The Walking Dead. So, let's just get into my ranking of this episode. Out of 10, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 10. Now, it did have some interesting elements. It was all screwed up. They didn't really do anything with it. They had some developments that could have made something interesting, and they just let it flop to the floor. They had some walkers in this episode, but not enough to really make you feel like it's a Walking Dead show. If it was some sort of nuclear apocalypse show, you could probably believe that this is it instead of The Walking Dead, because there is no need for walkers to be in this show. This is just some reason for a family to be having trouble together. It's so lame, I cannot honestly recommend this to my worst enemy. That would just be too evil. I couldn't. Okay, so, now that that's over, let's just talk about some of the general aspects of the show. So, once it starts out, you have Connor made that steak for Alicia. I'm not sure. He seems like he's actually a nice guy. It's like, these are the people that are gunning down other people and stuff. And then in this episode, it's like they took a total turn, to just an immediate 360 turn back in the other direction. I have no idea what is going on. They just... Okay, so the bad guys, if they were honestly horrible, horrible people, which they seemed like they were earlier, wouldn't they be carrying guns around and threatening people and having them constantly under watch instead? I mean, Alicia was allowed to wander around. Travis was left in a jail cell with no one watching him or anything. He wasn't like tortured or beaten up or anything or kicked. He was just fine. Nothing in this episode made me think that anyone was in danger. And really, the only person that I thought was in danger is the guy who had to spike through him, Reed. And of course he's in danger. The main characters were not put in a dangerous situation. And that is really bad when you consider this is an episode where 2 of them are captured and they have to try and make an exchange with a zombie at this point. So, they didn't even do that right. What could have been really awesome right there was just, meh, yeah. Not even really worth my time. It was like, okay, this could be interesting. Then you watch it and you're like, that wasn't interesting. That could have been cool. It wasn't. Okay, so, I noticed the pregnant lady took Alicia's steak. That was kind of funny. Then Alicia tries to escape and she sees that she's on the boat is docked already. Which, I mean, she kind of would have known that already, right? Because there wouldn't be the boat rocking around. So, how did she not know? I'm confused there, whatever. And then she's like, decided that she can't get out of there. She could just jump off the boat and swim. I mean, how cold is the water? It looks very sunny out there, and they're near Mexico, right? Mexico's hot. I don't understand. She could escape from them right there, but she's like too afraid because, oh, there's dock there. I could have a 10% chance of hitting that if I jump. It's, okay, well, I'll allow that. Let's just say that's not horrible writing. Maybe that's just her character being stupid. In which case, every other character in this episode does something stupid and something annoying. They're taking any likability of these characters and sort of flushing it down the toilet. Okay, so, Alicia and Jack, they have this whole relationship throughout the episode that could have been summed up in 2 minutes, but they just keep adding stuff for them to be going through. And it seems like, shouldn't there... Connor's group of people is like, 5 people? It seemed at first like they had a lot, and they had a bunch of machine guns and weapons, and they were going to be a veritable Negan force. Instead, what we're getting is a small group of people who apparently are very okay with being unarmed around their enemy. What is going on? This is just terrible. Okay. And then the Jack and Alicia relationship is so forced. They talked for a little bit over radio, and of course she's a teenage girl, so she would have a crush on him, sort of. But it immediately turns into a Romeo and Juliet romance where over the course of 2 days they're like, oh, I love you so much, but we can't be together. No. Oh, we must. It's, come on. I'm not buying it, okay? That is bad writing. You can make any defense for it. It's teenagers aren't good with this, and they're willing to jump into the arms of whatever. That is not legit. That does not happen in real life. Maybe if there's an attraction between two people, I can understand them sort of leaning towards each other, but not full-on romance story in 5 minutes. Come on. And then everything that they did, Jack and Alicia in this episode, was just a waste of our time, because at the end she just jumps off the boat anyway. If we just saw 2 minutes of them talking with each other and established that they're close and that he wants to get her off the boat, and then had her escape, it would have been the exact same thing as we got between the 15 minutes, was it, of dialogue between them and walking around, wasting our time. And then at one point she's like, oh, the people on my boat must have been killed because they're heading back too early. Okay, why did that matter? That was not relevant to the story. They didn't do anything with it. That didn't cause any suspense or anything. And for us, we know that they're okay. What are we worrying about here? They don't like to give us any sort of fear in this show called Fear the Walking Dead. There's honestly, at what point are you like, wow, that character's about to die? Never. Not once. I have not once been like, wow, that character is about to kick it. Because no character has really kicked it yet, have they? I mean, like, just the stepmother, or mother, ex-wife of Travis. That's it. She was unlikable to start with, okay, and she didn't get many parts, and then she just got killed and dead, and no attachment there. Totally saw it coming, and nothing good. That was first season. Second season, we're not getting anything. No even fear of someone dying. Okay. Luis tries to cause trouble between them. He's like, we can't have these many people come with us, and we have to go fast, and we can't save your friends. As if she's going to leave her husband, and they're going to leave their sister and brother, or sister and whatever. Would that really happen? No. So this Luis guy wasting their time is not worth it. They're not going to just say, you're right, let's go. This whole dialogue here is unneeded and unnecessary and unlikely. And then Strand is acting weird in this episode. He's sick from swimming, apparently. And I guess he couldn't swim, because remember in the episode he's like clinging to the raft as it's sinking down, and he drops his phone, and instead of swimming down after it, he's just like, oh crap. He owns a boat, and he never bothered learning how to swim. Strand is just getting weaker and more loserish as the time goes on. And now in this episode, he doesn't seem cool or anything at all. He's just like, let them do whatever they want. So he's all sickly already. I mean, he was in the ocean for a couple of hours. Given that could give you a cold, maybe. He doesn't seem like he's like he should be acting this sick, but he is. Maybe bad acting, maybe bad directing, bad writing, maybe a little of both. I don't know. All three. I don't know. Okay. Travis is in the cage, and he sees Alex, that girl from the previous episode that he cut loose, and she's angry at him. I'm not 100% sure why she's angry at him specifically, but he was one of the ones who wanted her to go out there, and he was like, we didn't have a choice but to put you out on that boat. It was a woman, a little woman. She's not tall, she's not big, she's not imposing, and it was a sickly dude. A dude who was very, very sick. If you had them out on the dock, how dangerous would that be? You just have one guy standing there with a gun at all times, make sure they're okay, give them some help. You don't send them out on a boat and then let Strand cut them loose. That's what made Strand even more disgusting to me, that he cut them loose. And apparently she had to see the kid die in a horrible, agonizing way, which is kind of disturbing if you have watched the mini webisodes. I watched them, and now it's kind of depressing to see that this guy ended up so badly and then dead in a horrible way, too. It's not like he just died in a crash or anything. No, he survived for a couple of days in horrible, burnt-up agony. You guys should watch the webisodes just to see what I mean. Webisodes were better than the Fear the Walking Dead show, so there's that. Okay, and then Alex, for some reason, she seems angry at him, but she's not going to do anything about it. then sort of seems like she's on his side and then walks away. I don't know where she went. It seems like they have this huge boat with only like 5 people at the most on it. It's like weird. They seemed like they were good survivors for a second there. Bandits too. Usually bandits have a lot more people there. I don't know. Okay, so Nick wanted to go to save Travis and Alicia, but Maddie wouldn't let him because he wanted to. This whole episode, she's acting like one of those stupid, Lori, clingy moms. They're like, you can't do this, you can't do that. He's clearly an adult. He's been out on his own for a long time. He knows how to handle himself. He went out, got Louise, and didn't even get hurt, and ended up with a nice wardrobe now. And she's going to be nitpicking at him and telling me he can't do this and that. And I gotta add this. The actor who plays Nick makes very poor acting choices. While he was loading and cleaning up that gun, did you notice his face? He was doing this. Just forgive me for the ugliness, but I have to show you physically what he's doing. What the heck is that? This dude is a skinny little dude. Why does he have to make himself look like he's 500 pounds? This actor keeps doing that, and now I have to mention it because in this episode he did it more than usual. It's like he's a normal looking guy to horribly disgusting. Why does... Poor acting choices, especially if you want to be a main character that people like. Ugh. So the characters are ugly in the show, the acting is bad, the writing is bad. This show is just hell to me. It's like a physical pain to watch it. There was 40 minutes of talking with maybe 5 minutes of action throughout the entire episode. So Chris acted like a wimp in this episode like he always does, and he shot Reed because he thought he was going to turn, shot him in the mouth so that he does turn into a zombie, and he was afraid that he was going to turn into a zombie, so he just caused him to turn into a zombie. And how they come up with that plan is kind of stupid. I mean, immediately I would have figured, okay, we have 2 options. We can take his clothing off, put it on one of our people, and then disguise him, and then they could have a gun hidden with them, then send him over to the side with the bag on their head. Then they could kill the people, which would be more likely a better choice. Instead, they do the thing where he's a zombie, which can also work, but the whole time he's making bleh, bleh, zombie noises. They didn't gag him, they didn't like cut his throat to stop him from making noises or anything. So, and then when they're on the dock, the guys don't hear Reed going blah, blah. They don't even hear it when they're untying him and taking the bag off of his head. So stupid. And then when they're on that dock, the dumbest thing happens. They send Travis over, they take the dude, and don't notice he's a zombie, even though he's making zombie noises, I'm sure. And then they untie him, and he bites the one guy. Now, I'd assume that these extra 2 bodyguards that Connor had would have had some sort of weaponry on them, right? I guess not. They had 0 ammo, 0 guns, not even a freaking knife. They didn't have 1 weapon with them. I don't remember them saying in the discussion, don't bring any weapons. And if they did, I would have figured Connor would be smart enough to bring a weapon. And all this time we've been worrying about these people, this is what we get? Not even a scary element here that they might take over their little boat or something? This is bullcrap. This is just the worst. They've been fearing this boat coming towards them. And then they finally meet up and it's just like, bam, 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 this all done. Okay, move on. It's kind of like if you're playing with a petulant child and he just won't let you win or won't let you get any licks in or anything. He just has to dominate you immediately. Won't let anything cause him trouble. Okay. And it bites Connor on the arm, so I assume Connor's going to live. He's going to be missing an arm, maybe. That's at least, if I was writing the show, I would have done that, and then he's going to come back like the governor and be more tough, which would be more interesting than just having them all dead and now they're moving on with their life. And notice in The Walking Dead, the regular show, just in season 6 alone, we see a bunch of developments that you could be like, where's this going to go? This is wasting our time. Like the wolf, and then the wolf dies. You're like, this is wasting our time. But they do carry those little elements throughout. Like with the wolf, his turning to sort of good and then getting killed by Carol had a purpose because now Carol has a feeling like people can be made good and she doesn't want to kill people. So it does develop the characters. They learn lessons from stuff. Whereas in Fear the Walking Dead, they all act the same throughout the entire show. No one's developing, no one's changing. Chris is still the wimpy kid. Alex is still, Nick is still the annoying dude. They're all just relatively staying the same. No development so far. It's season 2 at this point, and we're getting really deep into it. We're season 2, episode 5. And I'm sorry if this is going to be a kind of long episode. There's just so much for me to rant about this horrible episode that was so freaking boring. And it's been a boring season so far. I can only wait to see what their boring, crappy excuse for a mid-season finale is going to be. It's just going to make me laugh, I'm sure. It's going to be like, oh wow, compared to The Walking Dead, this is diarrhea. Just pure diarrhea. Nothing else. Just disgusting puddles of it. Ugh. Okay, so I guess there's nothing really to get out of there. Alicia escapes off the boat and goes swimming to the people, and then they head back. We don't get to see them get back to the main boat or anything, and that's just it. And I just can't stop raving about this. Connor had 2 dudes with him. None of them were armed, and they all get overtaken by one walker. No one kills the walker. They don't toss the walker into the ocean or anything. The walker bites Connor on the arm, destroys another guy, and is still chewing on him. Then this guy just runs up and starts trying to punch Travis, and then Travis is able to take him. Come on, Travis is a teacher. For him to be able to fight doesn't really make sense to me. If he was getting his butt beaten, it would make a lot more sense and be more enjoyable to me, because I don't like Travis. Anyway, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure to stick with me, guys. Make sure to leave a comment that is a TWD or FTWD related question, and I will answer you in a Saturday video. And guys, I'm going to honestly warn you. If you want to continue with the show, just expect the worst possible developments, and that's what you're going to get. So, I'll see you guys then, in the next video.